Hi there. Today I'm going to go through and show you how to get started on your Maker's Empire account. So the very first time you go to log in, this is what you're going to need to do. So if you will come up here to the Omni box, we're going to type in Maker's Empire and it's going to pop up right there, and you can just click on makersempire.com and it'll take you to this web page. This may only happen the very first time that you log in. Then you're going to go to your teacher login. Now, these are going to be for teachers that already have this program ready and paid for by your district. So we're going to click on teacher login. And for those of us who have that, we're going to go ahead and go in through our Google Classroom and sign in that way. And I will tell you the very, very important thing that you do here, however you go to sign in, is how you want to do it every time you sign into your account, because if not, you're going to end up with two separate accounts and they get very, very confusing. So we're going to log in with our Google Classroom account, and it's just telling you here you want your students to do the same thing. When they go to log in, your students must log in with their 3D app in their classroom. That's going to be on their Google Play Store on their Chromebooks. But for teachers, we're going to go in this way. And then you want to go with your district email, because that's where your Google account is going to be set up. Then your next step here is you want to make sure that you grant them permission to view your Google Classroom, and then give them permission to look at your teacher dashboard and allow that as well. And then the third one is giving them permission to view your classroom and all of your classes. So there's three there that you're going to want to do. Once you have done all of that, you need to make sure that you go down here and press allow. And we'll just give it a second to get in. So then once you do, it's going to set in. Now, I want you to understand, I've been on here for several years, so my account is already set up with multiple things already completed. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to make sure that your name shows up here. This here is going to be your avatar, your little mini-me, call it what you want, and you will go through and want to create that. For classroom teachers, the most important thing that you're going to want to look at is your classroom management. And you're going to want to go to your teachers, and you'll see you should have an account. These are some of the teachers that are within our building. You particularly want to go to your classes and where you're going to set up your Google Classroom account. Okay, so I need to click on my Maker's Empire class. So we want to add a classroom. So I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to say a new classroom. I'm just going to do my demo account, and then the grade. I mostly have worked with fourth grade, so I'm going to do that. And then the teachers that it's going to, all of the information that comes back, you want to make sure that the email comes back to you. So you're going to want to make sure that you're clicked down here as the primary teacher on this classroom account. Once you have done that, if there's not very many people in here, you're going to want to save that. Okay, and you're done. If you have multiple classes that you want to do and set up an account for, that's fine. If you teach more than one class, you're going to go through the exact same thing here. Type in your new class, what grade you teach, and then make sure that the emails come back to you as well. Then once you do and you've done that, you're going to look over here and you're going to find your class. So let's see if I can find my demo account, which is right here that I just added in. I'm going to click on that. And you're going to see when I've clicked on that, there are no students over here. So what we're going to do is add students. When we do that, we're going to give them their username. You can decide how you want to set that up. I always tell my kids I want them to do, just like when we sign in, our first name dot last name. And then I always like them, and then of course it comes out to the district site at mthcs.org. But for them, we just want them to do their first name and their last name with a dot in between. For their password, for our students, we always ask them to use their lunch count number. So I'm going to put that in there for them. And then the email It should be their email address that they sign in just on their computer, just like they normally do. For me, I'm going to go ahead and put mine in. We're going to use that. And then I always want to make sure that I put in their real name so that we know exactly who that person is. Now, the next thing down here at the bottom where it says curriculum level, that's up to you whether you put that in there. I like to know what grade level I'm working with since I work across multiple classrooms. So I'm going to put 5 and 6, and then you add a student. And then that student's added, and you can do the next one. Now, there is another way that you can add those in. I'm not going to change that password, but there is another way that you can. Now, once you can do that individually, or if you like, you can go here and see your class code right here. Underneath here, you can see there's a class code. When they go in, they can put that class code in, and that will allow them to log into your classroom, and you do not have to do it individually. So it will depend on what grade level you're working with and how you want them to log into that class. But that's going to allow you to get started with your class. Now, the other thing I want you to know is over here on the left-hand side, there's resources, and in here they have a lesson library. And if you click on the lesson library, you're going to have to double click that. And if you'll go through, you can search through the lessons that are in here for you can do that are PBLs for across all grade levels, K all the way up to 6th grade. And you can go through and pick one of those, and you can actually assign those to your classrooms. But for today, all I wanted to do was help you get logged in, let you know where some of the basic things are, and some lesson plans to help you get started on your first PBL. So if you go back to, I do want to go back to that dashboard and just show you this little avatar up here. If you click on that, you can do your profile. Then I want you to take a look at this part right here where it says STLs. That's where the kids will download their prints to have you print them. Well, now it finally pops up. So let's go here. And then these are the STL files that you download. So let's just take a look at this very last one here. So we're going to download this STL. We're going to click on that. And if you'll notice, it pops up down here. And then when we go to, I always have it show me in the folder. And when it shows in my folder, I can see right there. And then I can make sure when I send it to the printer to make sure it's printed, but it's always a different thing. And to make sure it's the right one, you can check and make sure that this one is here. So that's just where you're going to find your downloads once the students have created theirs. If you want, I can quickly go back to this classroom management and pull up classes again and just show you one of the students' work, and then one of their designs. Let me just pull one up and just say, okay, so here is one of the students designed a sauce bringer tour that she had her parents do. When I go to print this, if you look down here, you've got a cart, you've got a download, you've got a delete, and then you've got a file. Here for our district, what we're going to do is we're going to download them in this file. And we want to download them to the Polar Cloud, send to the Polar Cloud, show in the Polar Cloud. And then when we do, we're going to get popped up to our Polar 3D printing website. And from here, we are going to have to sign in. And again, you're going to want to sign in with the same thing with your Google account. And then you're going to see it's going to show up right here. From here, we're going to pick what printer. You have to know which printer you have and which one you're going to print to. So we're going to look at the 3D print. We have printers right here. So we're going to do my own printer. And then it's going to show up on there. Make sure it looks pretty good. Everything's touching the build plate. And then we're going to look over here at our printers. Now, this is where you're going to find your printer number. And if you look on our flash forwards on the front, we have white tape that will show our printer. You're going to make sure you go through this little queue over to here to make sure you've got the right printer. I'm just going to say that this one is correct here Right now they're offline because it's summer, but just to show you. And then you're going to hit your upload this to the Polar Cloud. Click your button. Go back into here. You're going to see it there. Open it up. We're going to upload it. There's the ice cream one we did. There's the one we did. So you can do it multiple ways. You can do it through the Polar Cloud, or you can do it once you're inside the Polar 3D build plate. So here I have two different projects, uploaded one from Maker's Empire and uploaded another through the Polar Cloud. So I know that kind of gets a little confusing, and if you need more assistance or help on that, I can certainly show you how to do that. Then all we have to do is hit that print, and then it'll send it to your printer and it will print. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to ask me, please don't hesitate to send me a message in the comments below, or you can send me an email. Have a great day.